Continuing from the previous episode 1325. Brother Muje, please enlighten me. The clear voice was like bursts of Sanskrit, and it spread throughout the entire competitive mountain range. This voice seemed to possess some kind of magic power, not only suppressing the energy of heaven and earth in the entire competitive mountain range. It seems that even the originally noisy area outside the venue has become silent in an instant. As Xiao Yan opened his mouth, eyes from outside the arena fixed on the two in the competitive mountain range. With the strength of the two-star Do Xian early stage, I have to say, you are the first opponent that I really agree with. No, maybe it's more suitable for the middle stage of the two-star Do Xian. Under the gazes of countless eyes, Muje slowly raised his head and looked at the thin figure in front of him, but it was Xiao Yan who possessed extremely tyrannical power. In the indifferent pupils, get some fiery. I can also feel that you are very strong. At least until now, you have not used all your strength. But no matter how tyrannical you are, I, Xiao Yan, want this number one. Facing Muji's voice, Xiao Yan smiled, but his smile was filled with a very dangerous aura. I can sense it too, and you didn't use all your strength. But all my power is only used against opponents worthy of a fight. If you want to see my full power, then come up with a power worthy of my face. She said in a hoarse voice. Let's do it. Let me experience. What is the strength of the power of the first powerhouse in Licheng? Xiao Yan said, looking at the fiery pastoral in his pupils. Boom boom boom. Xiao Yan's voice just fell, and suddenly a blue ice attribute aura and a fiery red fire attribute aura erupted from the two of them. Obliterate a weak two-star fighting immortal strong. Shabu shabu. After a brief collision, the two figures backed away. Immediately, on Xiao Yan's palm, the ancient ruler of eternal fire flickered with dazzling flames, and together with their figures, they burst out into a light and shadow. The light and shadow was like a fierce thunder, and it came to the pastoral in an instant. On the ancient ruler of the different fire, with a strong hot breath, it drew a beautiful arc in the sky and attacked the pastoral. Humph! Just as Xiao Yan attacked and came to Muje, Muje snorted coldly, and then acted instantly. Facing such a tyrannical blow from Xiao Yan, the ice attribute Do Qi in Muje suddenly burst out, and then wrapped around the energy dagger above his palm. Choke choke! The knife in his hand fell, and the energy dagger lifted in an instant, colliding heavily with Xiao Yan's ancient ruler of eternal fire. Crash! The ice-type energy dagger just touched the flames above Xiao Yan's Yuo eternal ancient ruler, and they were at a stalemate. Triple ice power. With a light hum, the ice attribute Do Qi in Muji's body suddenly condensed on the energy dagger, and the palm suddenly exerted force, and suddenly made a harsh sound. Seventh layer breaking the sky ruler. Suddenly feeling the force from the energy dagger, Xiao Yan was also shocked, and a terrifying force instantly emerged. Crash! As soon as the two tyrannical forces came into contact, a poignant scene of flames and ice appeared in the midair of the competitive mountain range, but the next moment, the two figures were also shaken back by the powerful attack. Flame slash. When the two figures were shaken back by the force, Xiao Yan barely stabilized the figure, and then the fighting energy in his body rushed towards the palm of the hand, the ancient ruler of the fire, without any blessing, and then faced the place where the pastoral song fell. Cut off one foot. Shabu shabu. The huge energy ruler hundreds of feet in size blasted straight from the tip of Xiao Yan's ruler, and then tore apart the space in space, and suddenly caught up with the figure of the pastoral song. Damn, this guy's grasp of fighting opportunities is really terrifying. Facing Xiao Yan's tyrannical blow, Muje murmured, and then the aura in his body was raised, and 3 blue energy *** burst out. Go, just barely blocked Xiao Yan's attack. This guy is really tricky, and it seems that this guy is still hiding something. Seeing Muji's quick response, Xiao Yan shook his head and said, the moment he just stepped back, many strong people couldn't react. I didn't expect this madrigal to be so careful. Xiao Yan twirled his palms and sneered, only to see a dazzling fighting qi bursting out from his body. On the surface of the fighting qi, flames rose, and the main space was filled with uneasy fluctuations. The last burst of high temperature emanated, and the space under Xiao Yan's feet was instantly scorched to the point of boiling. Why is this guy's flame different from other people's flames? As the ice attribute, Muje is naturally very sensitive to the fire attribute. Looking at Xiao Yan's powerful flame, he couldn't help but have a hint of doubt in his heart. Ice elegy. In the next moment, Muji's eyes narrowed, and then a roar emerged directly from Muji's mouth. What? It's actually the elegy of ice? This is the famous fighting skill of Pastoral song, and it is fully ranked in the realm of the Holy Order. Seeing this, the strong people outside the field couldn't help but become excited. Crash. A burst of azure blue vindictiveness, centered on the Pastoral song, slowly overflowed everywhere, and then those azure blue vindictive chi actually condensed into azure blue ice flowers. The azure blue ice flowers seemed to be ordinary, but it gave Xiao Yan a dangerous atmosphere from the disciplinary committee. I'm afraid this guy's ice attribute is not an ordinary fighting chi. Even though Xiao Yan was covered in his own fighting chi, he still felt an aura of severe cold, which made Xiao Yan have to take it seriously. Ice elegy, ice flower soul. Destroy Xiao Yan. The Pastoral song is like a bottomless pit, and ice flowers the size of a slap continue to emerge from his body, filling the entire sky, and the entire sky is also showing some cold feeling at this time. Faced with this situation, Xiao Yan clenched his 5 fingers into fists, and then the dazzling flame breath all over his body instantly condensed on the palm of his hand. It swept out with its arms, like an angry lion burning with fiery red and red flames. Without flinching, it was together with the tyrannical ice elegy of the Pastoral song. Bang bang bang. The terrifying fluctuations continued to spread, and Xiao Yan's fiery red angry lion and those countless blue ice flowers had just come into contact. Directly facing the athletics mountain range, the powerful fluctuations in power actually chiseled a huge pit with a size of several hundred meters in the ground of the athletics mountain range. In the huge pit, flames and cold aura slowly filled. How can the ordinary flame fighting chi be so indistinguishable from my ice attribute fighting chi? This guy's flame fighting chi is weird. The next moment, watching the ice flower that had the upper hand withering at a speed visible to the naked eye, the madrigal's his pupils shrank suddenly, and when he looked up, he saw that in the fiery red grudge, every time the flame rose, it would weaken the ice flower formed by his ice elegy a lot. That fiery red flame turned out to be so overbearing. I found out now. It's too late. Break it for me. A terrifying shout emerged directly from Xiao Yan's mouth, and then the angry lion, who couldn't stand still with Binghua, suddenly burst out with an incomparably hot breath. The next moment, engulfed the ice flower in an instant, and then roared away to the Pastoral song. Mu Zhe was shocked, and the ice attribute Do Qi in his body also swept out in an instant without reservation. The vigorous Do Qi was mixed with the icy cold to the sky. Until now, Mu Zhe didn't know that he still underestimated Xiao Yan. Continuing from the previous episode 1326. Bang bang bang. A shocking energy storm slowly emerged from the two sides, and the entire space suddenly became shaken. Mu Ji's tyrannical ice attribute attack was directly burned out by the angry lion, and then Mu Zhe was shocked and hurriedly retreated. However, Xiao Yan naturally wouldn't give Mu Zhe this chance. He jumped up and stepped directly on the back of the flaming angry lion, and then like a slingshot, he shot towards the place where Mu Zhe retreated. Bang bang bang. Hit by Xiao Yan's tyrannical attack, immediately on the chest in front of Mu Zhe, a scorching flame ignited instantly. Wow! A group of strong people outside the field looked at the Pastoral songs that were constantly being calculated by Xiao Yan, and immediately fell silent. No one thought that Xiao Yan, who seemed to be a little-known 2-star fighting immortal mid-stage power, could actually make the Pastoral songs. Tossing around in circles requires not only strength, but also a grasp of the timing of the battle. Obviously, this Xiao Yan is far from being as simple as it seems. Okay, Xiao Yan, I underestimated you. Mu Zhe was hit by Xiao Yan's tyrannical attack, and immediately his figure was a little embarrassed, then his face was ashen, his eyes were full of resentment, and he stared at Xiao Yan slowly. Speak slowly. Because don't say that others didn't think of it, even he himself didn't think that Xiao Yan's strength was weak, but Mu Zhe was ashamed of his grasp of the timing of the battle, and this kind of battle timing can only be tempered when it encounters a real crisis of life and death. This time, Mu Zhe seemed to be really irritated by Xiao Yan. The azure blue battle chi on his body just appeared, he immediately extinguished the flame on his chest, and then wiped away a trace of blood from the corner of his mouth, his eyes fixed on Xiao Yan. At this moment, the aura on Muji's body was undoubtedly much more tyrannical than before. Next, let's show you my true strength. Pastoral no longer had the underestimated enemy before, and every gesture was filled with an extremely tyrannical pressure. Then, with his body as the center, a hoo-hoo azure blue battle chi continued to permeate the entire sky. With Muji's actions, his strength was slowly increasing. Just now, it wasn't that Muje took it lightly. Facing Xiao Yan, Muje has already tried his best to pay attention to it. The disadvantage is that Xiao Yan's fire attribute energy is much more tyrannical than the normal fire attribute cultivator, which makes him overestimate the power of his ice attribute. It was just a mistake, but now that I know the details of Xiao Yan, I will naturally not suffer again. Ice! A cold hum emerged from the mouth of the Pastoral, and suddenly the temperature in the entire space suddenly dropped sharply, and even in the space, traces of conspicuous ice threads continued to condense. This guy, such a tyrannical fluctuation of Do Chi. This kind of fluctuation is not like a 2-star Dushin consummation. No, he can't be allowed to attack like this. Xiao Yan said in a deep voice. The huge power of hungry souls made Xiao Yan aware of something else. As soon as he finished speaking, Xiao Yan's body flashed out, and a fiery red Do Chi rose to the sky. Do you feel the fear? Although you are very strong, the difference in strength between us is too obvious. Muje couldn't help sneering, then raised his palm and waved gently towards the direction where Xiao Yan was attacking. Go! In the space, bursts of dazzling ice strands emerged, like 10,000 years of ice, with an astonishing chill, attacking Xiao Yan. Huh! Xiao Yan was very fast, raised his head gently, a hint of agility flashed in his dark pupils, and then took a deep breath. The dazzling flame energy condensed on his hands, and whistled towards the bone-chilling ice strands. Go! Bang bang bang! Fire-red flame Do Chi burst out from Xiao Yan's body like a tide, and the contact between the flame and the ice strands, from a distance, looked like a sea of fiery red and azure blue. Majestic! Boom! The fighting chi of the two exploded in an instant, and a stream of strange energy that contained incomparably hot but also bone-chilling cold continued to radiate out. What's going on? This guy's power. Just after blocking this attack, Xiao Yan's pupils shrank tightly when he saw the pastoral song on the side. The pastoral song at this moment is the same as before, but the breath makes Xiao Yan feel like he is facing a great enemy. Today's pastoral, the strength has actually reached the horror level of a half-step 3-star fighting immortal. I said, I only show my true strength to those who are worthy of my actions. Not long ago, I just broke through the half-step 3-star Do Xian level. I originally thought about this method. I will only use it when I compete in the 4 continents. I never thought that you would be forced out. Filled with indifference. Obviously at this time, the Pastoral, who was half a step in the strength of the 3-star Do Xian, faced Xiao Yan, and the outcome was already obvious. Good guy. Actually reached the half-step 3-star Do Xian, and he really deserves to be the first powerhouse in our Thunder City. Seeing this, the powerhouse outside the field couldn't help but say with joy. This guy has already come into contact with Sengxing Do Xian. It seems that Zhou Mi, you have lost the wrong way. Feng Yu also smiled helplessly at this time. This pastoral song is really a lunatic. I hope Xiao Yan can take care of him and make him more energetic. Although I don't think it's possible. Zhou Mi shook his head helplessly. It's actually a half-step 3-star Do Xian. Xiao Yan, you have to hold on. The 3 girls next to her also flashed a trace of worry in their hearts and said, Xiao Yan, give it up. Although I'm only a half-step 3-star fighting immortal, defeating you is as easy as pinching an ant to death. If you can force me to use all means, you can be regarded as the second place in this individual competition. Muje said eloquently, as if he had the chance to win and was talking to the loser. I'm not ashamed to say it. A mere half-step 3-star fighting immortal, but I am not qualified to hand over this number 1. Xiao Yan smiled slowly when he heard the words, but in the depths of his pupils, there was a flash of extremely hot flame fluctuations. Xiao Yan knew that it would be quite difficult if he wanted to deal with the half-step 3-star Do Xian when he did not use the fighting spirit and holy flame at this time, but it was not impossible. With the help of the battle formation master and the soul power, plus the fire attribute fighting nuclear fighting skills, the 3 blessings, the victory or defeat is at this moment. Xiao Yan made up his mind, and there was no hesitation in the slightest. The body of the Nigong Wan Shen, the moving core inscriptions, slowly condensed the core inscriptions, and the soul power of the spiritual palace in the body was also mobilized to invite guests, and even the core of the battle in the Do Chi Sea was spinning at a high speed, and tyrannical fluctuations continued to emerge. Are you ready to fight to the death? If that's the case, then I'll do what you want. Ice is coming. Seeing this, Mu Zhe didn't say anything more. The dazzling ice attribute energy emerged in the entire competitive mountain range, and the earth-shattering Xeon strike slowly condensed. And until this time, this finals has finally entered the final stage of White Hot. Continuing from the previous episode 1328. Squeak. Squeak. The sound of loose bones slowly resounded from the bed. In the finals, Xiao Yan had been in a coma for 5 days before he regained consciousness. Xiao Yan had been in a coma for the past few days, but Yu Ran and Lu Qing had been busy going away, for fear of not taking good care of Xiao Yan. This kind of action is enough to cause the jealousy of many strong people, but they can only stare blankly. After all, Xiao Yan is not something they can provoke. As for the Pastoral song, she was in a coma for 10 days. Although he won the championship, Xiao Yan still had some pressure on the strength of the Pastoral song. After all, this guy is a half-step 3-star Do Xian, and his fighting skills and ice attribute fighting spirit are also quite good. The third finger out of the sky. I am afraid that this champion is really handed over. However, the 4 fingers of the sky can be used to the extreme. After all, it is an existence that can be compared with God-level fighting skills. The mere holy-level fighting skills are naturally not worth mentioning. The ice attribute in this pastoral body seems to be different from that of a normal practitioner. Xiao Yan sat on the bed and opened his mouth slightly, constantly recalling the battle between the two in his mind. When the two were fighting in the competitive mountain range, Xiao Yan discovered that the ice attribute on Mu Zhe was vaguely suppressing him. That's natural. In the pastoral body, there should be ice seeds. The Lord of Soul Eater also spoke slowly. Ice seed? Xiao Yan suddenly asked in confusion when he heard the words, but out of intuition, this ice seed is definitely not simple. The so-called ice seed is a wonder of heaven and earth that enhances one's own attributes and fighting spirit in disguise. Everything in the world has its own attributes, and in each attribute, there are some corresponding heavenly species. Ice seed, thunder seed, etc. The heavenly species are classified according to their attributes, but they are basically divided into 2 categories, large and small heavenly species. A normal person's ice attribute fighting chi energy is equal to 1. Those with a small heavenly seed are twice their basic strength, and those with a large heavenly seed are 3 times that. The Soul Eater explained. It turned out to be this kind of thing. No wonder the ice-type grudge on this pastoral body can make me feel a lot of tyrannical pressure when I don't use the holy flame, and it can even catalyze my flame. Xiao Yan was relieved. Dao, I think Mu Zhe should have an ice attribute heavenly seed. With this thing, Mu Zhe's ice attribute Do Qi appeared so tyrannical. If there is no accident, Mu Zhe should have a small heavenly seed on his body, so it can be like this. The Soul Eater said with a smile. Master, can my holy flame be considered a great seed? Xiao Yan asked. Cut. Holy flame is much more tyrannical than the great heavenly seed. Ordinary great celestial seeds can enhance the power of their attributes 3 times, but holy flame is enough to enhance more than 5 times. And don't forget, there is no celestial seed that can be compared with the holy flame. After all, the holy flame is the nemesis of the foreign evil race, and it is also well known in the whole world. The power of the little heavenly seed is far less than that of the holy flame. But whether it's a big or small heavenly seed or a holy flame, they are extremely precious and hard to find. The Soul Eater said disdainfully. Quote. Xiao Yan heard the words, and his head was immediately covered with black lines. By the way, Master, I have holy flames on me. I don't know if I can get the blessing of the fire element heavenly seed. In that case, my fire element will become even more terrifying. Xiao Yan also asked fiery. The blessing of the heavenly seed and the holy flame. I have never heard of this, but if you have a chance, you can try it. The Soul Eater said, you have to be careful about the evil power in the forged sword Thunder Valley Master. After all, this guy should have the existence of the heavenly seed. Having the heavenly seed can also be eroded by the alien evil race, which is enough to show the tyranny of the alien evil race. At the end of the sentence, the Lord of Soul Eater did not forget to exhort him. Yep, let's go to the auction house to prepare something. After all, according to his intention, it seems that when he awards me, he will exorcise the power of evil for him in the treasure pavilion in Thunder Valley of Forging Swords, that level of extraterritorial evil. The power of the clan, but it is not sloppy. Xiao Yan nodded slowly, then directly pushed the door and walked in, facing the auction house, preparing some medicinal materials needed to exorcise the power of evil. Hey, I didn't expect that Xiao Yan to win the first stage championship. This is really beyond everyone's expectations. In the inner courtyard of the Alchemist Association, the two figures slowly chatted. This guy is really perverted. He can actually beat the half-step 3-star Do Xian's Pastoral with his strength in the middle stage of the 2-star Do Xian. Hua Fei also said helplessly. Obviously, Xiao Yan's strength and talent surpass everyone else's. Unexpectedly, this guy can be regarded as the biggest dark horse that emerged from the East Continent ratio this time. Hua Fei, can you be sure about this second stage? The next moment, Tan Chen spoke slowly, his voice full of seriousness. Master, although the second stage is a soul test, Xiao Yan's soul power is too strong, and the first stage test is enough to prove that this Xiao Yan is not a fuel-efficient lamp, so the disciple can only guarantee the top 3, as for the first words. Hua Fei bit his lips lightly and said weakly, even if he was as proud as him, in front of this guy Xiao Yan, he would be ashamed of himself. The top 3 are the top 3. This time, compared to Dongzhou, it can also rub the pride of you, the proud sons of the world. It is also a kind of training. When the ratio of Dongzhou is over, the ratio of 4 continents will be a better stage for you. Tan Chen also laughed. Inside the Thunder Valley of Forged Knives. GU Master, the first championship, as you said, was won by Xiao Yan. In the secret room, Duan Tianfeng whispered next to Duan Tianong and said, "This guy seems to have some terrifying things yet to be displayed. And to be able to defeat the half-step 3-star Do Xian's Pastoral without using the Holy Flame, this guy's fire attribute fighting spirit may have been tempered by the Holy Flame. The strong. If Holy Flames are used, even a great heaven like me would be difficult to deal with." Duan Tianong said with a smile. "Forget it, let him rest for a few days, distribute the rewards of the first stage, and start the second stage of the competition." Duan Tianong also disappeared here after he finished speaking. He knows that the next thing is to contact the evil tribe for himself, so he must do everything possible to seal the power of this guy. The power of the king of the alien tribe is too tyrannical and can easily cause some indelible damage to Xiao Yan, of Scars. At this time, Xiao Yan's illustrious name was spread in the entire Thunderworld, and Xiao Yan also became a man of influence for a while. This time it was really a misstep. Forcibly advancing to the half-step 3-star fighting immortal, the foundation of my body was shaken, and even the little heavenly seed could not be used in the competition. The only way to stabilize the source. This is why I lost to Xiao Yan. If I come here again, with the blessing of Shaoshan Seed's power, I will definitely not lose to him again. Mu Zhe woke up from a coma for 10 days, and he was deeply regretful, but no matter how much he regretted it, it would not change the established facts. As Xiao Yan's reputation spread in the Thunderworld, it also proved that this first stage of the competition finally ended. Mobile version update fastest URL. Continuing from the previous episode 1329. After the time passed, it was another 5 days. After Xiao Yan and Mu Zhe had rested, news of the first stage rewards was also announced inside the Thunder Valley. Open black lens bracket, close black lens bracket. The news of this news has undoubtedly made many contestants jealous. After all, the top 3 strong players in the first stage can all enter the treasure pavilion inside the Thunder Valley. It is said that the treasure pavilion in the Thunder Valley of Forging Swords is a place where countless treasures of heaven and earth gather on the entire eastern continent, attracting countless strong people to yearn for it. Dong dong dong. Xiao Yan, are you there? A crisp knock on the door slowly sounded, and then several figures appeared outside the door. Duan Qifei? Xiao Yan got off the bed, and walked towards the door in a bit of depressive mood, but just open the door, he exclaimed. This time I will take you to the treasure pavilion. The Valley Master has been waiting for a long time. The door was gently pushed open, and the second madrigal, the third Zhou Mi and Du Qifei stood slowly. It's just that the pastoral look at himself is extremely cold at this time. Let's go. Xiao Yan shook his head helplessly, then followed up without hesitation. The next step is to enter the space. Everyone, please be safe. Du Qifei and the others came to a rather remote place, and then on Duo Qifei's jade hand, a rather exquisite scroll slowly emerged. Among them, it is full of strong space power. A directional space scroll. Zhou Mi was well informed, so naturally he discovered this thing in Duo Qifei's hands. There are also many categories of space scrolls. Among them, the directional space scroll is a kind of recording a certain position and then using the scroll to collude with the space channel. Crash! The space scroll was gently taken out and suddenly twisted in Duan Qifei's palm. After a while, it turned into a squirming space crack and appeared in front of everyone. Let's go, Du Qifei said to the three, and then looked at them slightly. Let's go. The three of them were not procrastinators either. They looked at each other and stepped into it suddenly. Gululu. After a few breaths, the four of them left the space passage and came to a new place. Just when they came here, they only felt that the energy of the surrounding heaven and earth was more than several times denser than that in the thunder world just now, and even a trace of shocking thunder sounded continuously in the sky. What caught the pupils was the azure stones under their feet that contained the power of violent thunder. The azure stones formed a huge circular square. In the center of the square, a huge building towering into the clouds slowly appeared. Welcome the three of you to our Thunder Valley of Forging Knives. This is the treasure pavilion inside the Thunder Valley of Forged Knives, and it is also the distribution point for this reward. The next moment, next to the huge building, Duo Tianhong's figure, like a silver giant, stood in front of several people. Forging Valley Master? Seeing Wei Ran's figure in front of him, Mu Zhe and Zhou Mi couldn't help being shocked and said. Unexpectedly, the person who distributed the rewards for them was actually the Forge Master who saw the dragon but not the tail. This is the true overlord of the entire Eastern continent. Dad, I'll go first. After successfully bringing Xiao Yan and the three of them, Du Qifei was also very sensible and didn't stop, made a face at the Valley Master, and then prepared to leave. Let's go together. This treasure pavilion is your own thing. Besides, you also need something that suits you, so just take advantage of this time to enter together. The Valley Master smiled slowly, and said dotingly. The three of Xiao Yan heard the words and couldn't help but have black lines all over their heads. Shabu! With a wave of his hand, in Du Guanhong's hands, three exquisite appetizing rings appeared in an instant, and then flew towards Xiao Yan and the three of them. This is your respective reward. Just as Na Jia poured into the hands of the three, Du Tianhong immediately said. Thunder God Scroll? Xiao Yan's heart trembled when he heard the words, and then the soul force slowly invaded into the ring, and found that at this time, in the space of about several hundred square meters, countless silver thunders gathered, and the center of the thunder, a rather small silver scroll slowly appeared, and above the scroll contained a tyrannical aura that destroyed the world. The Thor scroll is different from others. It must be placed with something specially set up by our forging knife Thunder Valley. Don't destroy it at will, otherwise the Thor scroll will also be damaged instantly. When you need to use the Thor scroll, you only need to input your soul power or vindictive energy into the ring, and the full power of the Thor scroll will explode in an instant. Du Tianhong explained to Xiao Yan. Sure enough, it's the Thor scroll. Xiao Yan was afraid that Duo Tianhong would use fakes to deceive himself, so he hurriedly checked it, and after confirming it was correct, a smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. With this thing, I will undoubtedly have a life-saving talisman on my body. I will also have the power to protect myself when I encounter a 4-star Do Xian powerhouse in the future. Although this is similar to a one-off on a scroll, it is enough. Are there any questions? Duan Tianhong asked after watching the three inspect the ring inside and out. Thank you, Lord Gu. The three of them responded with a smile. Since the rewards for the disciple stage have been distributed, there is one more thing. Originally, the reward for the first stage did not enter the treasure pavilion, but since the three of you are all talented people from Eastern Continent, for the sake of the 4 continents competition, this time I will let you enter it. The treasure pavilion is full of martial arts and medicine pill scrolls. What other treasures can you get from the treasure pavilion? It all depends on your fortune. Don't remember, in the treasure pavilion, the more precious the treasure, the more tyrannical the seal is. If you can't break the seal, you must not take it by force. Duan Tianhong said, "Okay." Xiao Yan nodded in succession. Xiao Yan may not know the whole of this treasure pavilion, but Mu Zhe and Zhou Mi have their eyes wide open at this time. Only they know the value of this treasure pavilion. Then cultivation naturally goes 1,000 miles in a day. In this treasure pavilion, something seems to be calling me? At this time, Du Qifei's beautiful purpose was to stare at this towering building and fell into contemplation, but between the eyebrows, there are traces of mysterious runes that are quite obscure, looming, and these lines are exactly the same as the reincarnation lines on Xiao Yi's forehead. Now that you're ready, let's enter. Remember, you only have 1 month. If you don't leave the treasure pavilion for a month, you will be forcibly sent out by it. Duan Tianhong's voice sounded like a bell. I don't know if I can get something useful for me in this treasure pavilion. Xiao Yan was also looking forward to it, but he didn't notice any changes in Du Qifei. This girl seems to resonate with something in the treasure pavilion? The Soul Eater also muttered to himself at this time.